Welcome to the new place I'm living in. This is real. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm supposed to be talking. Hang on. This is actually not a Zoom background. In this video, I'm looking to delve into 3 areas: the issues that crop up with consuming, changing track from consuming to creating, and some simple ways to get started. I'm going to share a little story with you that I've never spoken about before. I worked a job a number of years ago where I reached a point where I felt that what I was doing was really inconsequential and wasn't terribly meaningful. I had accumulated a wealth of experience across a number of legal practice groups, which puts you then in the danger zone of being a great manager. The role of managing people seems to be a place you go to kill off any remaining personality and creativity that you might still have. Maybe some of you have had this experience as well, where you find that the role that you go into was more about being kept busy performing a set number of tasks rather than actually improving the system or changing things for the better. And because law firms had such a terrible time trying to actually retain staff, it was a constant process of hire people, train them up, then they leave, a lot of administrative tasks, but not having fulfillment of feeling like you were creating an environment and improving things to help make work somewhere that you wanted other people to go to, including yourself, where you woke up in the morning and actually wanted to go to work. So maybe I was just in the wrong field, but the feelings of disconnectedness and feeling like I was just a cog in the system was nothing new. I had felt that way for quite a number of years. I started wondering what was going on with me? What's going wrong? What is happening here? And then I realized it wasn't the job that was the problem. The problem was I wasn't creating anything of my own. I wasn't creating anything of value. And maybe you felt that soul-destroying situation of feeling like you're not adding anything meaningful to the world. And you know deep down that you aren't just meant to be a consumer, that you are meant for more. As I spent more and more days in the office staring at computer screens to the point where my eyeballs were burning in their sockets, just to go home to feel somewhat empty and that feeling of being a little lifeless inside, as though something had been removed from you. It was no wonder that after work I turned to escapism and scrolling through content in order to find something in the hope of feeling better. What I was actually suffering from was overconsumption and a lack of creation. Consumption can be in the form of food, entertainment, distractions, even information. Food is the obvious one that comes to mind because a lot of the time you eat because you're trying to escape, because you want to have something that feels comforting and feels good, so you ease the pain of the current state that you're facing. But information is also an escape. You can read a ton of books and feel like you're actually being productive, but you're not. And you get that mental high from, oh look, I've read a book and oh, I feel like I'm making progress. You haven't created anything. You've just consumed information. Even that thought of I need to learn more can actually be a form of procrastination. And then we have the most obvious and infiltrating consumption of all, which is social media. Filling of time, the using your phone as a distraction to avoid the awful feelings that you have when you think about even facing your problems or even the person in front of you. That's the trap. I need to study more. Do I actually need to? Probably not. That's how I found creating videos here to be a profound shift in me and how I felt. I started this channel's topics back in 2022. It has been one of the best decisions that I have ever made. Even then, I made other mistakes like thinking, oh, I don't know enough and have enough interesting things to say to even make content about. What the heck? I did a video on getting rich and about finance, and I thought, I don't have a degree. What have I got to talk about? You're talking about somebody who lived in the country and like did dumpster diving. It's really not like what? I thought that reading all of those finance books was not enough. I felt bad. Like I thought, oh, I don't think 30 books is enough. Maybe I should get a finance degree and then maybe get a doctorate after that, a PhD. Yes, because then that will give me permission to be able to speak to these topics. Do you need a degree to tell you how to drink water? Like there are so many things, in fact, probably most things, that you learn by doing in life and not by sitting there reading a darn book. You're ready now. You don't need to produce the perfectionistic 4K high resolution, cinematic, frappalistic, XBL. We need to get creating, like this inspiring backdrop. Great. What do we create? If you don't know what to create, look at what you're consuming already. What you're already consuming is an indicator of the interests that you could speak to yourself. You're naturally drawn to things for a reason. What kind of topics light you up? Do some of the topics I've spoken about light you up? Feel free to freaking copy the idea and put it in your own words. There are no original ideas. The videos that I did about walking all of those steps every day, that is not you. There's a bazillion YouTube videos about that. That is not my idea. I don't think there's any original ideas at all, actually. I think we have little beacons in our brain and we have receiving mechanisms, and the ideas already exist and we just receive them. They just come out and we're like, oh, what could you talk about for 20 minutes and chew somebody's ear off about it who probably has no interest in it, but there's going to be somebody out there who does. And this is the thing, nobody is interested in everything you have to say, but you will attract the people who are like, oh, that's how my brain works too. Like people on this channel. Maybe you're interested in having a laugh, learning how to cook something, figuring out how to overcome your problems. Like people who subscribe here, surely, like you're amazing, you're intelligent, you're fun, you're open, you're kind-hearted, you're probably on the spectrum if you've subscribed. So you don't need to learn more. Just create about things that you already know. There are 7-year-olds on the internet doing unboxing videos, just talking about how exciting it is to unwrap a toy. Do they have a PhD? Do they need to read another 3 books? So there's probably somebody in the comments on their feed going,
huh, where's your authority for that? You don't actually unwrap something like that. Oh, that's misinformation. Your videos are low quality. You're just waffling on. So you're supported by the bank of mum and dad. Get a job, you toddler. You're such a bum.
I understand the struggle from going from a job to creating something. Most of us have gone through an educational system that has designed us to be a component of labor, to not think creatively. Don't be disruptive, which is all entrepreneurs are disruptive. Follow the formula and read what we tell you to is basically be a good worker bee. Now get a qualification, now get a master's degree, become a better unit of labor. You don't get taught how to break free of that linear path of the industrial revolution, evolution. We're in the next phase now. AI is going to take a lot of those jobs, which is great because we need to start tapping into being creative. I think that's why I felt inspired to create this video, is because we need to shift from being the worker bee to being the creator. And the school system is not exactly the place to learn how to be part of the digital era, and you're not learning how to create your own intellectual property. You know way more than you think you do. Your stories, your experiences, the weird things that have happened in your life that only you had that perspective at that time to witness. So even when you're sharing your stories, even if someone on the other side of the world has had a similar situation, they don't have your way of explaining it. Again, like one of my videos I created, the no food for 2 days when I did water fasting for 48 hours. That is not my idea. Fasting is an ancient practice that has been going on for centuries, probably invented by dinosaurs who ate all the animals in the area, and they were like, hey Bill, we've eaten all the animals. Oh, we're gonna have to eat air for a while. There is going to be at least one person on the planet who finds what you have to share interesting. Okay, ways to get started. I love the idea of setting yourself breadcrumbs. Do not do everything at once. If you love to read books, aim to write a book yourself one day. Start with 1 sentence, 1 chapter idea, maybe 1 word. It's about starting, and then you add on to it the next day. Somebody's decided to use a whippersnipper right outside. Oh, this is great. It really goes with the fantasy theme. They're just building some more of these. So set yourself a target to aim for. Create 1 thing a day. Don't condemn your work. In fact, aim to make a crappy first sentence, a terrible rough draft, and then get excited about, I'm going to make a series of terrible attempts. Doesn't matter, because you're getting into the pattern of creating every single day. It's going to get better naturally. You're going to get better naturally. You're getting into that. You care less and you create more, and it starts becoming fun. Build a portfolio of dreadful art. The path unfolds as you walk it. If you wait until conditions are perfect or you think you're good enough, we're never going to start. Take action and then course correct. I definitely found that skills build on skills. When I started recording my videos, very soon after I realized, oh, I might see if I can edit them. And then I started developing skills in editing with DaVinci Resolve, which is a free program. When you're talking on video, there are a lot of ums, false starts, stutters, you repeat yourself. You sound like English is your second language or 5th language when English is the only language that you know. Honestly, it happens to me a lot, and it's part of the process. You become better at speaking by speaking, not by reading 10 books about speaking. It is not a race. There is no competition. The time is going to pass anyway. You may as well fill it at least taking a step. Even if nobody watches, follows, or shares, it doesn't matter. That is not the purpose of creating. The second step is putting your work out there. And the reason for that is not to get popular, to not go viral. It's to build the courage of putting your work out there. And if you stress about people leaving comments and you not being able to reply to them, or you don't know what to say to people, if you're worried about engaging with people, you can put a little blurb or a little description on your website, on your videos, on anything that you post. You can say something like, hello, thanks for dropping by. I may not reply to your messages at this stage, But please know I'm building my courage and social skills by posting here and learning how to improve my creative efforts. Thank you for understanding. I'll type that below this video description so you can copy paste that into your own website if you find that helpful. Be quiet and do. Only talking leads to poverty. Build what you're doing behind closed doors and keep quiet about it. If you have an idea, don't run around sharing it. Keep it to yourself until you've taken action and it started coming to fruition in this world. Because often when you share that great idea or that grand vision you thought about while you're sitting on the toilet, there are two likely scenarios that could happen. Firstly, you'll not follow through on the idea that you've just shared because you've got your hit from it, you've got excited about it, and you fall flat. It's kind of like you've released the high by sharing it, and then you don't take action on it because you've got your kick now. And the second one is, not everyone is going to be excited, supportive, or wanting to see you succeed. Not everybody has your best interest in mind. Some people are in such an insecure place that they feel threatened that you might be doing something or even express an idea of doing something that makes them feel worse about themselves. So they'll look for ways to sabotage you from going and acting on that idea and potentially having a better life or joy than what they're currently feeling. But I guess in one way, the silver lining is it will highlight to you the kinds of people in your life that you have that maybe you should move away from. I think this is why they have those old stories that have been passed down about the evil eye, or if you have a business idea or that you're early in your pregnancy, is to not announce it, because I think there's like a window of time about 90 days, so about 3 months, where you don't talk about what you're building until you've actually built it and it's got past that point, because you're in a very vulnerable point in time when you have a fresh idea and you're excited about it. That's when you can find out that your best friend actually isn't that excited for you. Or you may discover that you have a family member who doesn't want you to live your dream because theirs died. So keep silent and work behind the scenes. Finally, make this video the last one that you're going to watch before you create something. Plagiarize this topic if you want to. I will write that into the description so you have my permission, because again, nobody owns an idea. Nobody really came up with the idea. But seriously, this world was made for everybody, and there is enough for everyone to create and express in their own unique way. So I'm not tied to this topic. Maybe write one sentence about what stood out for you on this video, make it in your own words, and then post it to social media. If you felt like I did about your job, try to put some time aside outside of that job, producing something of value and not simply consuming. I will leave you to this wonderful artwork.